Hey guys, this week's first chapter is called Looking Up. This is going to be a really great option for those of you who like to have little images mixed in with your chapters so you can see. There are random pictures throughout, so it's kind of have that like Diary of a Wimpy Kid or Big Nate feel where you're still reading chapters, but you're also getting a lot of images. So I will read the descriptions. We can all know what the whole plot's about. Living with her mother in the poorest part of town, Saint, a girl drawn to medieval knights and lost causes and the protection of birthday piñatas, sees the neighborhood she's always known and loved disappearing around her. Old homes being torn down and replaced by fancy condos and coffee shops. But when her favorite creaky old toy store is demolished, she knows she must act. Enlisting the help of Daniel Chance McGibbons, a quiet, round-faced boy who lives across the street and whose house also faces the wrecking ball, Saint hatches a plan to save whatever is left of her beloved hometown. So, chapter 1, again, pictures throughout, so be sure to check it out if you are interested in books that have that kind of style. Chapter 1 is called Pin the Tail on the Daniel. You know you're a square peg in a round world when you find you're the only person at the birthday party defending the piñata. As I had the tailless donkey and the gnome-themed cake, for I was a sucker for anything with a face. Its salvation, my destiny. And no face required saving more than the round one belonging to Daniel Chance McGibbons, who had kept being reminded by his father to stop drawing and at least talk to the other kids at the birthday party. And it was his birthday party. But the act of talking seemed to pain him almost as much as the pummeling of the piñata pained me, though I didn't know why. For as much as I admired the shape of his adorably round face, I knew next to nothing about him, other than the fact that he lived across the street from me, which was the only reason I had even been invited to this gathering of what were otherwise just his classmates, who, truth to be told, appeared to know as little about Daniel as I did. Aside from the obvious, like the fact that he was the only kid any of us knew who walked with a cane, which I kind of thought only old people used, and which maybe was the cause of the shyness. But whether it was the cane or just an aversion to social events, Daniel's absence as host and birthday boy left a weird void that could be felt by all, most notably his father, who seemed as graceful and as sociable as Daniel was not, and who wanted Daniel to participate in his birthday party, not so much for the sake of Daniel, but for his own desire not to be embarrassed by the other parents. And sensing Daniel's distress, I stepped in to fill the void. For having ostracized myself among this group of strangers by attempting to save the piñata, the donkey, and the gnome, I had little left to lose. And so I climbed atop a bar stool in the living room and waxed eloquent on the benefits of shopping local, the merits of print journalism, and the pitfalls of birthday hats on soft, malleable hair, none of which seemed to connect with my peers. And so I tried to be slightly more topical by saying a few kind words about the birthday boy, who I could see standing behind the other kids, as he had been made to do by his father. But because I knew so little about him, I could only talk about what I had seen. So I praised his resilience, the cane, his creativity, the drawing, and his listening skills, his silence. And did not notice until it was too late that each time I said his name, he was taking one giant step backward, as though each word of praise were somehow a lance in the belly, until he was left standing with his back all the way against the wall, pinned there by unintentional cruelty, like a donkey without a tail. And seeing that I had unwittingly heard the one round face I had tried to save, I did the only noble thing that I could. I grabbed the piñata and I fled. And that is chapter 1. So, good friendship story, good family story, good realistic story with a lot of humor sprinkled throughout and lots of pictures. So, if you're interested at all in this, come by the library and check it out. It will be on the new bookshelf.